All right. Hey, guys. This is Mr. Smith here to do some mindfulness with you today. So, what a week, all right? What a week, especially to need some mindfulness. Bear with my setup. Hopefully you can see me okay. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I was hoping to be able to do this face to face, but we're going to make it work. So let's start with just 1 minute of mindful breathing. Maybe we'll do 2 minutes. See how long we can go. I don't have my singing bowl. I'm so sorry. I forgot it at school. I'll have to see if I can pop in next week and get it so that we can have that. But let's just start with 1 to 2 minutes of mindful breathing. Okay? So close your eyes. Get into your mindful body. And I'll let you know when we're all set. As we're mindfully breathing to start today, think about all the things we've worked on the last 5 weeks. Mindful listening, heartfulness, mindful breathing, putting your hand on your chest or on your belly. And last week we focused on breathing in, breathing out. So keep all those things in mind as we start today. Okay? All right, open your eyes. We're able to stay mindful for all 2 minutes. Did you try using the anchor words, breathing in, breathing out? While you were mindfully listening, did you hear anything in your own house or in my house? I know my furnace started while we were mindfully breathing. It's awfully loud in my ears. Maybe it was loud in your ears too. So, obviously things are going to be a little different. But in a way, this is kind of nice because hopefully we can do a little bit more sharing digitally, at least with me, through Google Classroom. So I'm going to be posting this video on Google Classroom, and then I'll probably put together a little quiz of some sort or assignment that you can fill out, either typing or otherwise, that you can kind of give me the answers to your questions at the end. So one of those questions then will be, what have you done to be mindful, especially in the last week as things have kind of unfolded and been a little crazy? Have you had any chance to be mindful at all? And if you have, I want you to tell me about them. And if you haven't, well, start today. See if you can practice some of the mindful things we've worked on over the last few weeks. And today we're going to be talking a little bit more about heartfulness. And specifically about what's called generosity. So I want you to think about, if you know what generosity means, If you don't know what generosity means, I want you to think about a time that you've ever given or shared something just because you wanted to. And also maybe sometimes that you've given away or shared something when you didn't want to. When we give because we want to, it feels good inside. Sometimes when we give things away, even if we don't want to, that's being generous too. When we're generous, our hearts feel happy. Generosity or giving doesn't have to be with money or with extravagant gifts or big things. It can be a really small thing too. So today for mindfulness, we're going to imagine some of those ways that we can be generous. And I want you to get into your mindful bodies again and let your eyes close. And I'm going to read some examples of ways that maybe you've been generous, or maybe you can just imagine what these feel like as opportunities to be generous. So go into your mindful body, let your eyes close. Imagine that you get to school and you're in front of the classroom door. Your teacher is there, but your teacher's hands are completely full and she can't open the door. And so you open the door for her. And she smiles and is thankful because she couldn't have gotten in without your help. Notice how that feels. Now imagine you're at your school desk and the person who sits next to you accidentally drops their entire art box onto the floor. You hop up and you go down onto the floor and help your friend or your neighbor pick them up. Notice how that feels. Imagine that it's snack time and you have 2 big cookies. You know your best friend didn't bring a snack, so you give your friend one of the cookies. Notice how that feels. Imagine that you're in line to do something really fun, and you know someone in your class really wants to go first. You really want to go first too, but you offer to let them go in front of you anyway. Notice how that feels. Imagine that you say something very kind to someone. Notice how that feels. See if you can think of some examples of either times you've been generous or things you might do to be generous. Especially as we're virtually learning, think of some ways in your own house, in your own schedule, how you might be able to be generous. And think about how that makes you feel, or how it could make you feel. Before I give you your questions for today, and I'll put them in the classroom as well so that you can see them and type them back to me. Let's take one more minute to be mindful of our breath, especially like we reviewed last week. See if you can say to yourself, breathing in and breathing out, just for one more minute. Close your eyes again. Let your eyes open again. Now, before we close today, especially since this is our first class virtually, I'm going to plan on putting out our mindfulness lesson hopefully on Thursdays, but I might put it up early if I get it done early. And I should have said this at the beginning of today, but maybe future lessons from now on. Do your mindfulness lesson. See if you can get everyone together in the same room in your house to do it. We're all kind of stuck at home right now. See if everyone can participate with your mindfulness today. I know Ms. Johnson might be doing it differently with the middle school students. I'm not sure what she has planned. But even if you've got a middle school sibling, well, make them learn from me too. Try doing it all together. Especially if the lessons are just 10 minutes. Find 10, 15 minutes that everyone can get in the same room and try being mindful. Practice that quiet, mindful breathing. Maybe things at your house are like at my house, a little chaotic. Can't believe no one's come downstairs in the last 15 minutes to interrupt. But maybe everyone can take 15 minutes just to be mindful, to be centered. And don't forget about those opportunities to practice mindful breathing, especially at bedtime. Last night I couldn't get to bed. All sorts of things running through my head. And so I was laying in bed and I was trying my best to do breathing in, breathing out. It kind of worked. I was pretty stressed, but don't forget to practice that. I'll put the questions up on the Google Classroom too, but here are the questions for this week. What is something generous that someone else has done for you? And I want you to list some things, let's say 5 things, that you can give that don't cost money. Things like smiles or hugs. Although maybe not hugging right now, but maybe everyone in your house at least, right? Okay? When the video ends, I want you to take 1 more minute to mindfully breathe. Okay? And hopefully I see you guys on Google Meet sometime soon, okay? Take care, guys.